I think the first thing to say about the data management challenge in the CVS is that it was truly end-to-end. And it wasn't just concerned with the ingestion, integration, processing and storage of data as you might expect. The team had to insert themselves into almost every aspect of the study. They were involved at the very beginning in selecting the right eCOAs that would work from a technical perspective, were involved in the investigator training program, and also were responsible for distributing the sensors and tablet devices and making sure that all the sites had them throughout the study. And that was something that I think was far more challenging than we ever anticipated when we set out on our journey. Then as the data was coming in, they were responsible for monitoring the data, also reporting on study status, and providing ongoing support for the investigators on the ground. And in setting out in our work, we decided to adhere to some core design principles. First was the Alcoa Plus principles for data integrity. I won't go through these, but put simply, we needed to leave behind a data set that was of sufficient quality that it could be used for filing to regulatory authorities. We also needed to adhere to the GDPR legislation, ensuring that the data and privacy rights of all the participants were respected throughout the whole process, and at the same time, take steps to make sure that we could eventually make the data open and share it with the wider scientific community. And I'll come back to that. So maybe to some of the challenges that we had to overcome. The first is related to requirements gathering. Normally in a study like this, you might engage with the protocol team when the protocol has been signed off on, specify the data requirements, identify appropriate technical solutions, and implement and test them prior to going live. But, as Clemens has already mentioned, it didn't quite happen that way in our case. We went through many protocol amendments and iterations between the beginning and the end of the study. And on one hand, this often required us to, make changes to the forms we had put in place, the electronic forms we had put in place on the different platforms for the study. But the biggest challenge that we had to overcome was the addition of the Activity AX6 sensor to the study. And this provided us with a really significant logistical and technical challenge that we had to incorporate after the study was already up and running. And as Clement said, it turned out better for us in the end, but it was a major challenge at the time. And I think it made a large part of 2021, 2022, shall we say, interesting. All in all, if you consider the sensor data as a single data item, there were over 430 data items captured from each patient, from each visit. And we had to account for them all. They all came from different platforms coming through different pathways. We used patient directories on eScience Central, which is a multimodal open source data management platform developed by Paul Watson and Hugo Hayden in Newcastle University as our hub for ingestion, integration, and processing of data prior to loading it into the data warehouse for analysis. Study with nearly 2,400 participants generating over 1.3 million hours of sensor data brings with it a lot of data. We're currently managing over 100 terabytes of data for this study, equivalent to the storage capacity of approximately 400 laptops. So we needed to leverage cloud storage capability using Amazon Web Services servers in Frankfurt to maintain the data within the European Union. It was also a really significant data processing challenge. Implementing the algorithmic pipeline that was validated in the TVS across such a large population of patients and volume of data in a robust and reliable manner was a major undertaking, and it required intricate coordination across a team working remotely in different countries. Also, it required us to leverage cloud computing capability, because if we had implemented this on a standard PC, it would take nearly 5 years of processing time to process the DMO data. So using cloud computing capability allowed us to bring that processing time from the order of months and years down to days. In terms of study management, we used a lot of different platforms in the study, and the various reporting features of the platforms meant that it was difficult for us to get a single snapshot or a single view of study status at any one time. So the Work Package 3 team put a lot of effort into integrating all of the different reporting data such that they could effectively manage the study. We also, to enhance the quality of the data, put in place a comprehensive quality assurance process that spanned the spectrum or the life cycle of the study, beginning with measures that were put in place in terms of training and support for the investigators, through to tools that were put in place at the point of data capture to prevent, for example, out-of-bounds data entry, through to the ongoing data monitoring, which helped us identify issues that needed to be addressed using our data change request processes and our logging processes, right through to the development of tools for data visualization and automated tools for data validation that were implemented within the processing pipeline. And Alma Cantu from Newcastle University is going to be demonstrating some of the data visualization tools in the next session as well. What's keeping us busy at the moment is a comprehensive data cleaning program that's been implemented for both the clinical and the DMO data. In terms of impact, what we're going to be leaving behind, Arnie has already spoken to you this morning about the release and the availability of the software. And if anybody's interested in testing that software or trying it out, it is available in alpha form at the moment. But I'm happy to also say today that the consortium has also recently voted to release the full study data set from the clinical validation study to the wider scientific community. We're currently locking down the details as to exactly when that will happen, but keep an eye out on our data sharing pages and our Zenodo pages for information on that. And finally, before I finish up, maybe just to answer the question that somebody has asked me, would you do it all again? And the answer is yes, in a heartbeat, but we might change a few things. We've learned some lessons along the way, and I think looking back on this time, we've been involved in hundreds, if not thousands, of Zoom meetings, and I don't think one of them was unnecessary. Some of them might not have been so enjoyable, but they were all necessary. Communication was key to the success of this program. We did lose out, though, as a result of not being able to engage in more face-to-face interaction. I think since last year we've really seen that, particularly at the point of setting up the study and the training program. We have a real appreciation, having coming through this, for the value of near to real-time diagnostics and identifying issues in the data as soon as you can so that you can correct them. And I think finally, this is the study that keeps on giving in terms of surprises. And we have learned to expect the unexpected, or as Rumsfeld said, look out for the unknown unknowns. Thank you.